Warm greetings to respected jury members. Politics is an overarching set of activities, equations, ideologies, and the ways of propagating the same with respect to the governance of a region, which can be a country, a state, or any such structure. When we conduct the postmortem of politics in order to investigate what led to the death of its ethical self, the role of three things are evident. Firstly, the change in situations and the consequent widening in the ambit of politics. Secondly, the role of the governed. And thirdly, the role of those in the running to gain power, that is the political parties and their party men, those in the positions of power within the government structure, so on and so forth. Having said that, earlier the premise of politics used to be the prospective happiness of the governed, and the governed used to consist of a homogeneous composition in terms of them mostly belonging to the same identity group. For instance, the Marathas had a distinct political system, that being different from the Ahoms, and that in turn being different from the Rajputs, so on and so forth. And the socially underprivileged among them, like the women or those belonging to the lower caste, were not aware of concepts like equality or rights, and as such they internalized the secondary treatment given out to them. Therefore, carving out the aspirations of the people was easy in terms of the idea of prosperity being the prosperity of the privileged, and that being unquestioned. Secondly, morality in its entirety is very subjective, as seen against the backdrop of evolving idea of justice. The Code of Hammurabi, issued by King Hammurabi of the erstwhile Babylonian Empire, is a manifestation of the same argument. King Hammurabi had distinctly divided the society into common people, superior people, and slaves, and them again into two genders, and assigned different values to the lives of each. Now, this order of social justice was premised on entrenched hierarchy, but was hailed as the ideal social order for years altogether. But later, gradually, with the evolution of morality and the concepts of justice, it has become more inclusive in its approach. Also, with the establishment of modern nation states and democracy being the dominant political system, the governments are to ideally cater to the diverse people, like all different people within a territory, because even the regions of governance have become more diverse in terms of the population they hold. Now, the challenge befalling the politicians is twofold. Firstly, to promise and deliver welfare to the people, and secondly, to remain in power. As eminent political scientist Rajni Kothari had said, politics is becoming synonymous with the constant struggle for survival, and survival depending on numbers. Therefore, politicians resort to identity-based politics over development-based politics, because what better social order or imagined order for mass cooperation than identity itself? Therefore, we can see the divorce of politics from conventional morality, and politics now being premised on majoritarianism, communalism, and exclusivity. Secondly, the welfare approach of the politicians is becoming more and more election-centric. Though they have to deliver welfare or development to the people, though they are responsible for delivering welfare, yet they go ahead and deliver problem-solution mismatches. For instance, Trump going ahead and creating a wall at the Mexican border would not solve the problem of unemployment in the US. Or taking an example closer to home, raising the legal age of marriage for women to 21 years of age would not solve the problem of increasing child marriages or the problem of undernourishment of the women and their children. But it is being hailed, like these moves are being hailed throughout the length and breadth of the countries, because of the inability of the common people or the voters to look beyond what pleases the eye. As Plato had said, the price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Which means that people do not look beyond what pleases their eyes. As such, they do not question those in power, go for short-term solutions of their problems, and therefore that is seen in their mandate. As such, they encourage the political parties to carry on with their divisive politics or their problem solution mismatches. And therefore, we can see it as the culmination of divorce of politics from morality. As such, I want to take you back to what Gandhiji had once said, that as human beings, our greatness doesn't lie so much in reviving the world, but in reviving ourselves. As such, we should question ourselves. We should see as to what we are lacking in terms of our public affairs, and therefore we should go ahead and question those in power and ensure the revival of morality in politics. Thank you.